Hello, welcome to day 4 of International Nature Journaling Week. Today we invite you to explore stories, both the stories that nature is telling you and your own stories about your experiences in nature. I'm Karina, and I'm currently a guest on the homelands of the Anishinaabe people and Temiagama First Nation. I'm in the southern boreal forest of Northern Ontario, Canada, and this is one of my favorite places in the world. I am surrounded by stories in this spot, so let's check a few of them out to help inspire you for today. Stories are ways of transmitting information, and we can look at the land to see what stories it's telling us. The story of this special place began billions of years ago when the hard granitic rock of the Canadian Shield was formed. 10,000 years ago, this land was covered in kilometers of ice. And then as the glaciers melted and retreated, they scoured the land and moved the rocks around, and their meltwaters formed channels. Indigenous peoples have been here since time immemorial. And as a non-Indigenous Canadian, I am learning more about their stories, which tell us about their connection to nature. We can also learn about the stories of the living beings occupying a place, or what biologists sometimes refer to as their life history. So we have a couple of interesting beings here. We have a plant that is called wintergreen, and I don't know a lot about its life history or story. I know that you can chew the leaves and they taste nice and minty, and that's safe to do. And I see it has these red berries. Because it's early spring here in this part of Canada, I think it must have flowered last summer and been pollinated and set these fruits, which lasted over the winter. So in its story, I'm curious to know who pollinates it and what do the flowers look like and who eats these berries. And we also have these beautiful lichens, and they tell a story of resilience. When it's dry out, they're crumbly and crispy and little pieces break off, but it just rained and now they're soft and pliable. And they survive in this fairly harsh environment, so they tell a story of resilience. It can be minus 30 degrees Celsius here in the winter and covered in snow and ice. And then in the summer, it can be incredibly hot and dry, over 30 degrees Celsius. And it survives through all of that. So in the place where you live and the beings that you encounter, what are their stories? We also have our own stories about the places we spend time in nature. I know some of the stories of the activists who fought to save this special place from mining and logging. And I have my own personal stories. We've been coming here for over a dozen years, and each time we come, something happens, we have a nature encounter, and I often nature journal them. There's also the stories that we think about a place that maybe aren't true. So when I told people I was coming on this camping trip, everyone said, oh, you're going to get eaten to death by black flies. And you can see there's a lot of them flying around me right now. It's day 3 of our trip. The black flies just came out this afternoon, and they're not biting yet. So yeah, it's true that at this time of year, the story that being in nature means getting eaten by black flies, that can be true. But it doesn't mean it's always true. What are some of the stories about the places you visit that are your own personal stories, and how can you capture those in your nature journal? There are lots of prompts and ideas for telling the stories of nature where you are on the Nature Journaling Week website. We look forward to seeing the stories that you share.